What's going on, everybody? Finally back in studio. Two dudes and a mic. I could not be happier. I'm finally sitting across from my favorite dude. Gus, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm glad to be back here. Glad to be doing this finally in studio properly.
Yeah,
for the most part, yeah.
And also now virtual studio still, because COVID's still kind of a thing. We've got the owner and host, Mack Flash Trivia, Francois Jacques. How are you doing?
What's up, guys? I'm doing all right. I'm doing great. Thanks. How are you guys?
I'm doing really well. There's nothing like doing this shot right here at 10 in the morning while we record this. So everybody, all the dudes listening, men, women, here we go. Cheers.
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 Yeah,
oh my God.
What did you have? Tequila?
This early.
Well, now we got to
doesn't hit.
Now we got to do our beer cracks. What do you got?
I'm gonna be opening up
juice.
Whatever you got me drinking.
Oh
here.
no! Look at that mess. Back in studio, spilling stuff already. That's it.
It could be worse. Are you? What are you sipping on?
Me?
Yeah.
What is it?
Your
tequila does not go down as well the first thing in the morning as it does at night. I'm drinking this tequila that I was given. Yeah, it's really, really good.
Yeah.
Can't really tell but yeah, it was given to me by one of the players on the show. Just like you guys, we also have a drinking ritual where round 3, question 3 is the shot of the night. And so at round 3, question 3, everything stops for a second, and then everybody does a shot together. Of course, we host our show at decent times. So,
you know what?
Anyway, the whole point being that I decided to go through. I don't do a lot of shots, and so I looked through my cabinet and I found a bottle of Mezcal that I'd had forever. And I was like, that's it. I'm going to drink this Mezcal, which is very much like tequila, but smoky and different. And I was like, I remember it being terrible, but whatever, I need to drink it at some point. Turns out, I guess my palate got accustomed to it because it's actually it wasn't that bad, but I drank it all. But there's a worm at the bottom of this bottle.
Yes, I wanted to ask you about that because I saw that.
You saw it.
I saw the teaser and the preview there. How did that?
I went in and.
How did it taste?
It was fine. I mean, it tasted like a bunch of tequila or a bunch of mezcal. It was like a little, like a grape. It was like biting into a grape, like juice just kind of squirted out. But inside, it wasn't like guts and pasty and gross. It was just like juicy. It was just like a bunch of more mezcal. But it was kind of weird. It was gross. Anyway.
Like a mezcal Jolly Rancher?
It's like what?
He said it's like a Jolly Rancher.
No. It was like those fruit gushers, more like.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Because I used the word gusher. That's probably why.
What was I don't understand the intrigue
of the worm.
Yeah, like what made you do it?
Well, I mean, I'm a showman. What am I gonna do? This is what I do, man. Of course I'm gonna eat this worm. People want me to eat the worm. I'll eat the fucking worm. I don't care.
Nice. I didn't know that was still a thing. I thought that was I
was ever since I got the bottle, I knew I was going to eat that worm at some point, but I got that bottle like 10 years ago or something ridiculous. So, I'd kind of given up on that. I didn't think it was actually going to happen, but there it was. And I teased that I was going to do it. And then people were like, do it. And like I said, like that bottle came as like a form of guarantee that I would eat the worm. It was like, we're buying you this because we want you to eat the worm. And then you have another bottle to drink after. It's like incentive, So we did it. It was fun.
10-year marinade. That's kind of
10-year marinade.
Jesus.
Plus the time it was in the bottle. Oh yeah, it's cool. I read about it and I read up on it because I of course, you hear all the stories where you're like, if you eat one of these, you'll trip balls, and because there's mescaline in it or whatever it is, whatever the reason you hear. And then you'll trip, and it's not even true. It's not true at all. First of all, I can tell you from experience, but second of all, I researched it first to make sure that it wouldn't be like, I'm going to eat this worm at 8:00 at night on a Friday and then be just done for the weekend, right? So I wanted to make sure I wasn't going to have a heart attack or anything.
So we can't let this go without saying. So you say you host your trivia at better times. We're not doing this because we wanted to drink at 10 a.m., my friend.
Well, had I known that there was drinking involved, I may have shifted the schedule a little bit.
But now you're set for the rest of the day.
Oh yeah,
like now you're
I'm
good,
ready to go,
right?
man. Let's tape 1,000 shows.
But speaking of shows, your Mack Flash Entertainment, where did that come from? How'd you get into trivia?
Oh my God, it's been like 9 years now or so. When I moved here from Ottawa. So first of all, I moved here from Ottawa, and I moved to Amherstburg. And it's important to say that it's Amherstburg because it's like I went from Ottawa downtown, not owning a car, walking everywhere, taking the bus, and having access to any form of entertainment at any time. All my friends, all my bars, all my hangouts, all my activities were right there. And then I moved to Amherstburg, population 20,000. We didn't even have a Walmart when I moved here. We got it a few years later, and boy, did I rejoice. We had one bar, which I'm not going to name it. But
yeah,
I didn't want to
we
really
know.
hang out there.
Yeah, we know.
And
we know.
You know what I mean? So I was like, what am I going to do? Which at first it was like pretty awesome. We had a house. My wife was a teacher. And basically being a new teacher, she was super busy all the time, prepping and doing classes and meetings and whatnot. So I had like all the free time in the world. I had my job, and my job was 8 to 4 and it didn't require me to bring any work home. So from 4 to whatever, that was me time. And it was just like perfect. I'll play video games and watch movies and blah, blah, blah. Well, as self-isolation has taught us, you can only do that for so long before you go, I got to do something else. Yeah. Okay. So I was like, what am I going to do? I didn't really know anyone around here except her family, maybe one or two friends I'd made over the years from visiting. My music chops weren't up to it. I was like, maybe I'll join a band or something, but I didn't know anyone in the scene and stuff. And so I started making some friends through work and whatnot. And one day we're hanging out at the Manchester pub and somebody says, actually, it was before that. I was sitting around. I go, you know what I'll do? I'll do trivia. I'll try trivia, and I'll try it in Amherstburg. There's this place called Uncle Vito's Rhythm Kitchen. Do you guys remember that place?
No.
No?
Sounds like an awesome place to go, though.
Okay, I'll tell you what. Here's the big claim to fame. I don't know what this guy's connection were, and I got to tell you, this restaurant definitely had a huge downfall at the end. It was pretty terrible the way it ended, but at its peak, this guy every year would get Jeff Healey to come play a Christmas show.
What?
Wow.
Jeff Healey.
How the hell?
I know. So that there was at some point there was some awesome thing going on there, and we got treated like kings there. We just got every time we went there, they just loved us because I guess we were customers, and they were just like, all right, people, let's So it was great. So when I went in there, I said, hey, can I host trivia? And he's like, yeah, sure, why not? So I started out doing it there, and it was 20 people a night on Friday nights. That's it. It was just 20 people that would show up. And I did it there for a while, and it went well. And then later on, I heard the Manchester pub was looking for trivia. So I said, hey, I do trivia, which was a bit of an overstatement. I mean, I had done 10 weeks of trivia at Uncle Vito's Rhythm Kitchen. That's it.
That name's amazing.
But I do trivia. And they're like, all right. So they took me on, and then that's it. I started from there.
And now you made the switch to all digital.
Yeah. So now because of the whole COVID and self-isolation thing, now I had been, the cool thing about this story is that I had been toying with online stuff for a year before that, slowly getting ready. I'm really busy with, writing. I have to write the shows, and I have to put on the shows, and I got private functions and parties and stuff. So, it's a lot of it's very repetitive work, but it's constant. So coming up with new stuff takes a while because I have to find free time in there. So gradually over a year, I figured out how to do the streaming stuff and, cameras, mics, and software and what I would need to do. And it all culminated on the Battle of the Brains this year in January, where I was in charge of basically streaming the entire event of 1,200 participants across, YouTube and whatnot. And that was my job, to make sure it doesn't fail. So here I go with my little made up setup that I, cobbled together with this and that and plugged it in, and yeah, it worked.
Yeah, no, it's working. Yeah, no, it's getting huge too.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. So after Battle of the Brains, when this happened, I looked around and I thought, man, I have everything I need to do this. So literally, and I tell this all the time, I'm in a room right now which was empty, and it took me about an hour and a half, and I had the entire studio ready to go the way you're seeing it right now. I was like, I guess I had it was like playing a video game, and you see all the you see like the highlighted pieces, like, oh, that piece and that piece and that piece around a room. You're like, I think I have to gather these pieces together for some reason, or like the master builder in the Lego movies. So I just grabbed all of my stuff and I put it together in this room, and then I was like, boom. And we were talking about it the other day. My wife goes, no, I think you skipped, because I do Wednesdays, right, at Manchester. She goes, I think you skipped a week and then you started online the week after. I was like, no, I did not miss a beat. I was in the bar on the Wednesday, and the next Wednesday I was live on. And I have been since.
And what piece of the pie was the 1970s Price is Right curtain?
You're the second person to bring it up. My uncle's a director of in Montreal. He directs like all sorts of kid shows and stuff. So I was like, hey, I wanted to show off a bit, and I was like, hey, look at what I'm doing. And he was like, it looks great. One question: where'd you get that god awful curtain? I don't think it's flashy. God awful, but
it's flashy. It's nice.
Well, it's one of those things that like you've got it now, and you have to keep it. Like, it's part of the studio.
I don't think it's bad.
No, it's not though. Like it makes it's like.
It's so bad it's
shimmering.
Good.
Yeah.
Like if you change it, people are going to revolt.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So what's the biggest challenge now though, going digital?
Constantly putting out stuff.
Yeah.
That's the biggest challenge.
Cuz I was watching your show the other day, and you were like, you're king of the puns. You're king of the puns, you're king of the dad jokes. So I was going to say at that point, I mean, there's no change, right? Nobody laughed at him when you were live. Nobody's laughing at you now.
Yeah. Now the boo comes digitally.
It's all text.
I see it in the chat. It's still effective.
You know what? They do it, but your jokes are actually hilarious.
Yeah, they land. 90% of the time they land.
I don't know how, like, you keep rolling them. Like, it just doesn't stop. I thought I was pretty good, and then I saw your show, and I was like, oh my God. Like, I can't compete.
It's how I was raised, man. We used to sit around the table in French, of course, but the mindset stays. I always say it's because of my dad. He was a huge, we didn't call him dad jokes until like 3 years ago. Everyone started calling them dad jokes. They're puns.
Yeah.
They're just puns. People call them dad jokes because dads love puns for some reason.
Yep.
Because we want to be show people. Dads want to be funny to their kids, right? They want to be like, look at me, I'm cool, I'm funny. And so we do dad jokes. And even though at some point we do realize it becomes that to the ridiculous point where the kids are like, okay, it's not cool anymore. We're like, that's what I do now. That's what I do.
I do them too. So, I don't even have kids.
Yeah, that's right. That's what they say. My buddy doesn't even have kids, and he tells puns all the time. He's a faux pas.
See what I'm talking about?
Anyway, yeah. So no, it's cool. The online stuff is a lot of fun, man. It's great times. I love it.
I'm still reeling from that trivia the other night, man. I know you specifically put that trivia out just for me, and I got one wrong, and it's been haunting me, like the Back to the Future trivia that you did.
That Back to the Future one, man, it was good. It was good. I got 2 comments. I got you who did near perfect, and then I guess I must have used a picture of Lorraine when she was young in the picture
but
round.
It's Baines.
And someone's like, well, her name was Lorraine Baines. Yeah. And I'm like, fine, good. Give yourself the point. Stop arguing with me.
You knew who it was. Like, relax.
Well, what was the question that you got wrong?
This is the name of
Marty McFly's daughter.
Marty's daughter
in
2015.
In the future. Yeah. I put Maureen, and it's Marlene. And I was so fucking mad when I saw the answer come up. I was like, how did I make that stupid mistake?
You are probably the closest person, though, to have come to that answer with Maureen or Marlene.
And I even said, I said in the chat, I was like, I hope to God 11 is right. And then it comes up, and I was like, fucking hell, no.
What percentage of people do you think, I mean, you're marking yourself, so there's like no wrong way to do it, but what percentage of people do you think get Maureen instead of Marlene?
And they're like, it's close enough.
That's what I meant.
Yeah,
that's
I
what
misspelled it.
Oh,
I misspelled it.
Tons, man. There's so many answers I've seen come up that I go, this is one, and I don't know for a fact, and there's no indication that I know this, because obviously people are just saying, no, this is my score. But there's so many of them when I'm saying them, I go, man, I could see someone having written this instead for this and giving themselves the point. Like, definitely, I know people are being lenient at home for sure, but
there's no prize, right? So
what's that?
There's no prizes. So even if they do cheat, they're just lying to everybody.
The fun thing is that I don't think anyone's cheating.
Well, there's no point to cheating, right? You're doing this for yourself. Like you're only cheating yourself if you say you got it right and you didn't, because nobody else cares. Like it's just you that aren't going to learn that you got that answer
There's a lot of perfect teams right now, but when everything starts back up again, those teams are going to be like 3 for 10.
Yeah. Exactly. And it's really funny because that's how I know people don't cheat. Like the other day, someone was like, "Wow, we got 8 out of 23," and I'm like, "Why would you admit that?"
You know what though? That's an honest team.
You know what I mean? Like, so obviously because you're not cheating and you're just playing the game and you want to play the game. Like, it's not a question. Like, it's like I was telling the corporate people who are trying to some corporations and stuff are trying to have trivia nights for just their employees. So they want me to host for like just their employees, like a private feed. And I was like, yeah, that's cool. And they're like, well, what about pricing? And I was like, it doesn't matter. I'm like, people don't want the prizes. That's the whole thing about this online thing is like pricing would ruin it. First of all, everyone would get just too crazy competitive and accusatory and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think right now, no one cares. Plus, the proof that no one cares about prizes is that people will reveal their crappy scores online. They'll go, yeah, we full on failed this.
Yeah.
And let's bring on round 2, which I think is really cool.
I like the I like the drinking question. What is it? Round 3, question 3?
Round 3, question 3, shot question of the night.
You should do round 1, question round 1, round 2, question 2. Just do shots all night. Everyone's drunk by the end of it.
Shots all night. The whole show is just a shit show of drinking. That's it.
That's all.
Not your podcast,
right? Speaking of which, are you done the hood juice?
I've done the hood juice. Yeah.
What'd you think?
It was like juice.
That's why it's called hood juice.
Yeah.
It's like $2 for that thing.
It
tastes like juice.
Yeah, it just tastes like it's kind of like a sour apple, but not that sour. It didn't taste bad, but like I wouldn't choose to drink it.
It's called Johnny Bootlegger. I don't know what it is, like a malt liquor, I guess. It's like 12%.
I wouldn't even. It's kind of like I don't know.
It's green apple.
I don't know what the alcohol is in here.
12.
No, the
Oh,
type of
I have
apple.
no idea.
But it just tastes like apple and nothing.
Well, it would just be malt.
Probably just it's probably just straight up alcohol.
Yeah.
Just they put. I have a bottle upstairs. My mother-in-law emptied out her liquor cabinet at one point. I was like, here, you can have it all. I was like, okay, this is great. But there's like bottles in there from like the 80s and stuff. And I have this one big bottle. I wish I'd brought it on. Well, it doesn't matter. You won't see it. But I have this one big bottle, and it just basically on it says alcohol.
That's all.
It's just a bottle of white alcohol. That's it. And I'm assuming that's what they put in Johnny. What's his face?
Johnny Bootlegger.
Yeah.
It is cheap stuff. Like it's really cheap. The grape tastes disgusting, but the green apple is actually pretty good.
Do I have to do that one later?
You got to drink the grape one.
Do I?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, you got to get the full effect. I want to know what you think of Johnny Bootlegger.
Johnny Bootlegger.
What is your go-to drink? Like when you're sitting down and having a drink to relax, what's your choice?
Beer.
Like
yeah, definitely.
IPA,
I'm a beer
lager,
guy.
Pilsner.
Let's see. Well, it's funny. It's kind of changed. Kind of mostly a lager guy. If I want to just, I just got in. Like, okay, I'll come in on a Wednesday at the pub to do trivia. It's hot outside. I mean, lugging my stuff, and I want just a nice cold beer. I want a lager, like maybe even a Pilsner, something simple, crisp. It's got to be like crisp and kind of like it can't have a dull finish, and it can't be too heavy like that. Then after that, I'm developing a taste for IPAs now. So yeah, I'm slowly, but only like the milder ones. Like I'm really liking the Geronimo IPA by Walkerville these days. I've kind of gotten used to it.
Yeah, Walkerville does a great job.
My favorite one these days has been this one. I just happen to have a can.
It's all white.
Hazy Days.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh, the Cowbell.
Cowbell's awesome.
Cowbell makes a good beer.
Cowbell's good.
It's a juicy IPA, hazy.
Yeah, IPA I can't
my
do.
go-to, I got to say, if I were to really be honest with myself, my favorite is going to Salty Dog in Amherstburg and getting a White Bronco from Sandwich Company. It's a Belgian wit, I think. Or is it a white beer? I always get it wrong. But it's basically one of those like really hoppy, foggy sort of. It's not. I don't think it's an IPA. I think it's a Belgian wit is what it is. So it's like it's just really flavorful. It tastes like a grapefruit juice almost. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's got like that bitterness, the hoppiness. And I'm not that guy normally. And I think that's what has gotten me to transition over and say, yeah, I think I like IPAs now because I've gotten used to that punch in the face of hops that I didn't like before.
So it just kind of stabs you and then drives down the highway. The white bird.
Pretty much. Just looks you in the face and says, "I'll take the wheel."
Just that white Bronco police chase. That's all it is.
I've enjoyed the occasional IPA. Generally speaking, I don't like them. I'm an honest lager guy through and through. That's
That's all you ever
Which
drank.
is funny because it's not a lager. The honest lager is not a lager, right? If you look at it, it doesn't qualify as a lager. Visually, it's too dark. It's a little too sweet to be a lager. Like that, it's a great beer. And don't get me wrong, it's a great beer. Kind of like Alexander Keith's IPA. It's not an IPA, you know what I mean? But it's called an IPA. It's also not a good beer. But
No.
No, that makes sense though, because like my biggest problem with most lagers is that they fall short. They're flat. They don't have much of a taste to them. They're just watery, slightly barleyed beer. Yeah. But honest lager has an actual taste to it. It's not overpowering, but it tastes good.
This one's not bad. The Kingsville Czech style lager. I don't know if you can see that.
Possibly of all the Kingsvilles, the only one I liked.
Oh, really? This is the only one I tried.
I don't mind the orange can, the Herfish.
How do you say it?
Hefeweizen?
Hefeweizen, yeah.
The Hefeweizen?
That's amazing.
That was not bad.
I know.
Imagine if that was a trivia answer and you had to spell that.
Yeah, fail. Yeah.
Right? Nobody would be zero. Nobody would get it right. Yeah. I don't know. Guinness. That's about it for me.
That's yours? Yeah, Guinness.
Yeah, like if there was one beer I could have for the rest of my life, it would be Guinness, yeah. Yeah.
There's a question. Now, there's a question. If you can have one beer for the rest of your life.
Oh.
Yeah, that's like you're only allowed one brand now.
That's
you
it.
go to the store, you can only buy that one brand of beer, that one kind. You know, what's it going to be? So yours is Guinness.
Mine would be Guinness.
That's good because at least, you'll live longer than we will.
Yeah.
I might, I love honest lager. I really do. But if my choice was one beer for the rest of my life.
Forever.
I'd probably go OV.
What?
OV or Coors Banquet.
To anybody listening north of London, they have no idea what you just said. You just made all the county guys erect. That's for sure.
Right.
It's
Just
OV.
the best theory I heard about OV was from a buddy of mine, Jamie, before, who had this theory that why OV is still popular here and nowhere else. And it all comes down to the first beer you drink is your dad's beer, right? You sneak your dad's beer, and then that becomes your brand by default at first, and then eventually, you move on to other stuff. And because this was such a big blue collar town, and there was probably a lot of OV, it was a big selling area for OV. So the kids, the next generation, started drinking OV, even though it's no longer associated with that sort of, the industry has kind of collapsed around here, and it's not as prominent as it was, let's say. But the kids kept drinking the OV because they were, taking it from their dad. And that's why now we have still generations that are asking for OV in bars and stuff, whereas in other places it doesn't happen because there wasn't such a prominence of OV before. I was like, that's a pretty good. I like that. That's a good.
It's very
theory.
well thought out.
Yeah.
That's a very good thesis about OV.
Yeah, somebody put some thought
I want to
into
see
that.
the university class that accepts that as a thesis, and then I want to take it.
So we bought these those Smirnoff Ice things. We're gonna do
You're spilling again.
I know, it's fine. Yeah, so we bought all these Smirnoff Ice things, and we're going to ice each other. Except we bought them before COVID, and I totally forgot that these were here. So I opened the fridge today to put my beer in there for the show, and there's an ice sitting right on top, and I look at him like, this doesn't count, does it? He's like, oh yeah, it does. Like, fucking hell. So I had to drink the whole
an ice as
fucking
well?
thing right this morning.
9 o'clock, it
It was like 9:45.
9:45 this morning. I had to chug an entire Smirnoff Ice.
God damn it.
Yowza.
Ugh. And they're not good.
No.
They don't taste good.
No. I got iced on stage once.
Oh my God. Every show we're doing that to you now.
I got iced on stage by the staff. They sent something over, and I was like, I think it was they rolled their answer sheet around the bottle, and I was like, why are they giving me their sheet like this? And then when I pulled it off, obviously, I was like, and dummy, I didn't realize. I know what getting iced is,
right.
But I never experienced it in my friend. We don't do this to each other. We're old, and so it was one of those things where I'm like, it took a second for my brain to clue in what was going on. Everyone in the audience knew what was going on. They're all looking at me, and luckily, my timing was just right enough that I was like, oh yeah, and I didn't look like what am I supposed to do? But it was this close. I almost looked like an idiot.
Now, do you do the knee? Do you get down on one knee and do it, or do you just drink it?
Well, I did. I started just doing it, and everyone going, "Whoa, your knee!" And I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry." And I got so I did end up looking like an idiot, but I got down on one knee.
See, I don't know. I don't. The etiquette of getting iced. I mean, just drink the damn thing. I don't think it matters. Like, I get the concept, but
if we're being truly honest, though, none of this really matters. All these challenges and
exactly.
I mean, really, no, it doesn't.
It doesn't matter.
But it's
if you're gonna
funny.
do something that doesn't matter, then follow the entire etiquette of doing it. Do the ridiculous right.
Yeah.
I suppose, yeah.
Yeah, if you're going to do it, just do it all.
Perform the whole show.
All right, I'll start doing it on a knee. I did not do it on a knee this morning.
It's like doing tequila shots. People are like, do you want the lemon and the salt? I'm like, I don't need it, but I want it. It's part of the ritual. Like, you can do a shot of tequila, and I do it all the time, but isn't it more fun to have the salt and the lemon and the whole shebang?
Did you put salt in the lemon on the worm?
No. No.
See?
I had an extra large shot of mezcal left. I took a little sip of that, ate the worm, then I chugged the rest of the mezcal.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I never actually saw the like you eating it. I saw the teaser there, and
It's
you kept
online,
you kept holding it up. You're like, oh, maybe now,
cut it
maybe
out.
now. No, can't do it now. It's like the biggest tease. I'll look
Put
it
it
up
up in front of the camera and everything. It was just like, everyone could see it. It was so gross. It looks like it's what it is. It's a butterfly larva. It's not actually a worm. It's a butterfly larva that they put in there.
That makes it sound way better.
Yeah.
Even worse.
Right?
I know. Why
Oh,
wouldn't
now
you just
I
say
would do
that,
it.
Right?
Anything with larva in it just sounds delicious to me.
Oh, I'm not eating it. There's no fucking way I'm eating that. I still can't believe you did it.
I would do it again. And honestly, I tell everyone, if you're presented with the chance to do it, just so that you can A, say that you did it, B, everyone will be, around you. Oh my God, it was good. We're clearly guys who like attention. We're all sitting here on microphones in our basement talking to each other, hoping that people will listen to it one day. So don't lie if you are.
That's true. I would do it.
If ever somebody offers you the chance to eat a worm, do it.
Would you do, if you ever had the opportunity, I don't know if you've heard of it, but up in the Yukon, I can't remember what it's called, like Old Dirty Toe or something like that.
A lot of news out of the Yukon. Yeah, I get the Yukon Daily.
A lot of so there's a frostbitten toe, and it's like been marinating in alcohol for.
No,
forever.
It's a human toe.
It's a human toe.
Then no fucking way.
And they put it in the glass, and they put alcohol in there. You have to drink it and kiss the toe.
No.
And then they put the toe back in the bottle after.
Yeah.
No.
People have stolen the toe a couple of times as well.
It's a toe. First of all, feet are horrendous. They're disgusting.
They are.
If I could eliminate sandals for the rest of eternity, I would. They're I don't want to see anybody's feet. It's gross.
But it's been marinating and disinfected.
Oh, well, then that makes it way better.
For centuries.
I would.
No.
Yeah,
You would?
Yeah.
It's a once in a lifetime thing.
Oh, my God. We're
You
taking
say
a
you
trip
did it.
up there. We're going to do a show while you drink the toe.
I'll do it.
Toe show. That's disgusting. No, I would never
Toe
do
show.
that. You would?
There's also you can get like bottles of booze, tequila or mezcal. It's not tequila because I don't think tequila puts anything in it. But with scorpion, they put a scorpion at the bottom, and then you got to eat the scorpion. Which eating a scorpion's got to be gross. It's like eating a handful of popcorn shells. You know what I mean?
So
like, that's what to me I figure it would taste like.
Do they pull the stinger off the scorpion? They cut that off, right?
I'm
Or is it in
assuming.
there?
They must,
I'm
yeah.
assuming.
Like, because you can eat, like, if you find a live scorpion, you can pick it up by its tail and just eat it, and you'll be fine. It's that stinger that's going to cause you problems. So,
Yeah, like
Right.
the stinger is where the sack is.
Yeah.
Right. So cut that out. My brother ate a locust.
Why?
I don't know.
Why?
He was in the country. I don't remember where he was. I don't know, Vietnam or something. I have no idea where he was. But yeah, they offered him a locust. He's like, okay, I'll do it. He ate it. Like, that's disgusting. Why would you? I don't know. So locusts,
Well, I mean-
scorpions, worms. Fuck no.
You can buy cricket powder in the stores now.
Yeah, I've
that's
heard
the
about
thing.
that cricket powder, though. Like, you can, it's like a protein additive, like a protein powder almost.
Yeah.
That you can add
And
to
apparently it
foods.
tastes kind of nutty, almost like it's got that umami sort of nutty sort of flavor to it. It's like peanuts.
It's got a little chirp to it.
I have this conversation I have with people at bars that I love to have where I can basically eventually get them to admit that they try human meat.
What? What?
Well, it starts like this where you go, you go, it's funny how, different cultures eat different things, and it seems acceptable, not acceptable. Like we eat beef and chicken and pork, right? But then in some places, like pigs are kept as pets, and those would never be eaten, right? Or in India, cows are seen as sacred, so you don't eat beef and all that. But we do, and that's completely fine. And we have no qualms with eating. Like there's not even an inch in our head or an ounce that goes, oh no, I would never eat a cow. Yeah, of course. Do you want a steak? You want a burger? Yeah. There's no like, oh, I don't know. Let me think about that poor cow. So like in other countries, there's that same process where they're convinced of their thing and they're convinced that we're wrong, right? Like they look at us and go, wow, I can't believe you eat pig. I can't believe you eat beef. I can't believe you eat these things. And so like in some places, for example, they eat dog, right? So in some countries they eat dog, and we look at that like it's horrendous. We're like, oh my God, how could you eat dog? That's terrible. But they look at us the same way for eating different animals, right? They go, how can you eat pig? And they say the same thing. So really, we're in the same situation. Well, someone out there, doesn't like you eating humans. But what if there was a guy who just for whatever reason said, when I die, my dying wish is that anyone who wishes to try human meat can definitely cook up parts of my body prepared properly by whatever chef and go ahead and do it. And full permission, no repercussions, no nothing. Would you do it?
No, I wouldn't. You're going to drink a toad. Don't tell me you wouldn't try it. You would.
I feel like there's a lot of variables there. I feel like I don't want to immediately say no.
See, it always works.
Okay, hang on. Let's change the scenario.
I'd have to.
2 people die. One horrendously ugly. The other one a 10.
That changes nothing.
Changes nothing?
Meat is meat.
So the hot chick, you wouldn't be like, yeah, I'd be more inclined to eat the hot chick than the ugly dude.
No, there's no bearing.
Well, it depends. Are you slow cooking or are you pan frying?
No, for me, like
and what garnish?
My hesitation comes from like the whole alive thing, like the plane crash in the mountains. If I was gonna die, and
no, this is you tomorrow. You have the chance to eat human meat.
See, if it was tomorrow, I'd probably pass. I would, I just can't see doing it on a whim.
But you drink a toad.
You receive a letter, right? A very mysterious letter. Congratulations, you've been chosen.
The Prince of Nigeria needs you to.
His dying wish was that, knowing that you have such high culinary taste and an adventurous palate, you've been invited to join in and have Francois' thighs.
That just sounds like the long way of saying.
That's a good band name.
Long way of saying eat me.
Yeah.
Eat me.
Although I will say, if a cow came up to me and started talking to me and like, we had a relationship and it died, I wouldn't eat that cow.
That's true.
No.
When you think about it like that, if you know the person or you know the animal, you're not going to eat it.
No.
Well,
like Dr. Dolittle must be vegetarian for sure because he talks to every animal. How can you eat them?
You might be a sociopath.
Well, that too.
We watch a lot of incredible Dr. Pol on the Disney Channel or on Disney Plus with the kids, and it has been brought up where farmers they have names for their cows. They know them. They goes, yeah, we get friendly with some of these cows, but one day we know that that's how it ends, and they're going to the slaughterhouse and they're gonna become steak. And that's how it is, and it's almost like you can have both. You know what I mean?
But if it talked to you, like if you sat down and played video games with your cow friend, and then one day your cow friend dies, would you eat your cow friend?
That'd be tough. Like it's like you're asking me, could I eat my dogs? Like let's say my dogs die, right? And some guy's like, I know how to prepare Shih Tzu properly, and it's delicious. Still probably wouldn't.
True.
That's. Of all the dogs, that's the worst sounding dog meat.
Would you like a nice plate of Shih Tzu?
Shih Tzu stew. It's Shih Tzu.
Shih Tzu. Oh God. Yeah, I would not eat Shih Tzu.
Shih Tzu.
I guess
amazing.
Like farmers and hunters, though, I think they have a different relationship with animals, and there's a
lot of jokes.
But there's a deeper respect there, I think, that they have, and they like to make sure that they have the best life possible, and they're terminated in the most humane way possible. And
without forgetting as well that they're tools of the trade. Like farmers who, and that's not dismissive at all. It's basically both ways where they're Amish people, their horses are everything to them, right? Because they don't have tractors, they don't that this is their way. So they have these horses for a really long time, and they rely on them. So they have that symbiotic relationship where they're like, well, I got to treat you real nice and be real nice to you because I need you to stick around for the longest time possible to be on the farm. And losing a horse is a huge deal for the Amish community. So yeah, they do have a different appreciation. Like you said, farmers, hunters, whatever, have a different appreciation for their animals because they don't just see them as solely a companion like we do for pets. To them, they're like, well, here's the thing. You rely on me to feed you, but I also rely on you to help me. Without you, my work is going to be impossible to accomplish. So yeah, I think that definitely comes into it. And I don't see these people. These people, hunters, farmers.
Do they eat them?
The people who rely on their animals eating them in the end.
So they don't.
Are you asking if the Amish eat their horses?
Yeah, I don't know much about Amish.
No, I don't think so.
Right.
I'm pretty sure they don't. Although horse meat,
horse meat's
edible.
a thing. Yeah, that's a thing. People do it.
See, that's one of those hybrid animals. I feel right. Like it seems okay to eat, but it doesn't seem okay to eat. You eat deer, right?
I don't think
there's like.
I think that's where the whole relationship thing comes in. Where
it's the horse.
You become connected to the horse and the animal. You spend a long time with it. Some farmers spend every day with their horse, riding their horse, using their horse.
But okay, so they wouldn't eat their horse. But if the farmer next door, did they swap horses when they die and eat the other horse?
You can eat my horse.
Horse swap.
I think it's the concept of just the horse getting eaten. Like I don't want Joey eating my horse over there.
This is going too far.
The thing about horse too is I would venture to theorize that horse meat is not as acceptable because of not the stigma, but it's a stigma, but not of horse meat. It's that this association that's been made to horse meat. Where what do you hear when as soon as you someone wants to convey that the meat is subpar and something? Oh, what is this, horse meat? Right? Like people go, you switched it out for horse meat. It's always horse meat as a negative. Like they're like, this is beef, it's horse meat. But the thing is, like, what's wrong with horse meat? Is it really that bad? I don't know. I haven't had it.
I would suggest though the horse meat thing though, like they're muscular. They're used animals. They're just all muscle and
very lean.
Yeah, they're very lean. There's not a whole lot of fat in them. So like if you get a cow that's very lean, that's a cheap steak. So so like a horse with all muscle and no fat, that's not going to be a very good piece of meat.
Really?
Yeah.
No, that's a slow cook. That's definitely a slow cook.
I get rid of all the fat. I cut all the fat off.
So you cut
chewy. It's disgusting.
You cut out all the flavor.
Yeah.
You got to at least cook it with
I cut out all the flavor and I cook it so it's like a leathery shoe because I don't want any pink.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know what to say to that.
How do I leave this meeting casually? How do I just get out of here very slowly?
Hang on. Let me
out into the bushes.
I don't eat steak for that reason. And if I do, it's like whatever cheap piece is on sale at a supermarket. I'm not going out to buy like $80 steak because I can't justify. I know I cook the shit out of it. So I'm not going to pay for it.
So why? Yeah, why do it, right?
Right,
yeah.
right. And that's just me. I think it's probably my germ thing. I don't know. It's
not
like
to play stereotypes, but you seem to me like a guy who'd like a good medium rare steak.
No. Oh, my brother does that. Every time I go see him, he cuts his and like blood starts squirting. Yeah, his plate looks like a soup. It's disgusting.
Yeah. I'll go blue sometimes.
Oh,
yeah.
What's blue? Just bite the cow?
Basically, it's like just browned on the outside.
Just drop it in the pan for a second on either side and you're done, yeah.
Ugh, no thanks.
That's a good piece of meat.
No, I can't do that either. That's too much. That's too much.
What do you do?
I do medium rare, medium.
So what is...
I try with the kids, it's hard because I have to make sure their steak is cooked well, like medium well. You don't want to give them too much red meat, like red meat, just to be safe. So mine ends up always being a little overcooked. But I've gotten better at cooking the steak, letting it rest. Because there's a whole... You got to cook it, and then you got to let it rest for like 5 minutes. It's really important, or else you just end up with a dry steak afterwards in your plate. So yeah, so about medium. Let's call it a happy medium.
Especially if it's blue, you got to let it rest because the cow still has no idea what the hell just happened to it.
Right. Gotta give it a second.
Got to let the heartbeat stop.
It's not my preferred way of eating it. I'm a medium rare.
That's disgusting.
90% of the time, yeah.
My theory has finally come true. I made a prediction at the beginning of the year, and it's finally happened, and way faster than I thought. Speaking of bacon, the new bacon is pickles. I don't know if you guys noticed.
What?
Pickles.
Like
they're putting pickles in everything. There's pickle pizza, pickle
What?
burgers,
Where?
pickle
That's true.
everything, dried pickled chips, pickles, 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 pickles. They're everywhere. And I was
What?
like, that's going to be the new bacon. They're trying to replace because we have a shortage of bacon right now, so they're trying to gear people off of bacon. So what's the next salty sort of chewy snack? Pickles, right? So that people love pickles. So all of a sudden you're seeing pickle pizza, pickle burgers. Then it was like pickle flavored weird stuff that you wouldn't expect to have pickles on it. And I said the day it happens, the day we'll reach the peak of pickle mania is when somebody releases pickle ice cream. And it happened in Toronto last weekend.
No, it did not.
It did too. It did too. Somebody released a pickled flavor ice cream. They sprinkled some dill on it and whatnot, and there you have it. Disgusting.
Oh,
Terrible.
I mean, I've seen the pickle sandwiches. I've seen like the deep fried pickles with cheese in them.
nothing about that sounds appealing.
The stuffed pickles where they hollow out a pickle and stuff it with stuff in it, and then
Yeah. I'd eat that.
See, okay, so pickles I'm good with if it's just the pickle. Like if you put pickle on anything, that's all I taste.
yes,
It
agreed.
overpowers everything. So a pickle on its own, like you pull it out of the jar, you eat it, fine, great. But pickled anything, no, can't do it. Pickle pizza.
That's why I stopped putting pickles on my sub at Subway, because I was like, it was like eating a pickle sub at
Right.
Subway. You know what I mean? So
Do you
I was
get
like, no
pickles
more
on your
pickles.
burgers?
No.
No. Yeah. You?
Relish.
Yeah, I like pickles on burgers, sausages, sandwiches. I like pickles.
That's so weird. It's the
Like
same
they-
as like relish. Relish overpowers everything. I can't taste anything else but it.
You know why I don't use relish? I like relish. I don't use relish because I'm lazy. And I find relish is like the hardest condiment to use. Like you have to get a spoon. You have to get it like you can't just squeeze it out of the
Oh
bottle.
my God, one more utensil.
Yeah.
Oh,
And-
Jesus.
The whole like you can get a squeeze bottle of relish, but then it's like, oh, did you want 3 times the amount of relish you needed for this burger or hot dog? Because we don't know how to make this work. We can't make chunks.
The whole
Exactly.
the hole has to be big enough to let the pickle pieces
Well,
through.
no, it's like okay now like you squeeze it now your bun's soggy because all the juice just came out, and like you squeeze it a little harder because you want some actual relish, and now it's the entire bottle of relish is now on your hot dog.
Exactly. Precisely. We went through so much relish last year buying the bottles because we're like, it'll be easy for the kids and the stuff and the that. And I was like, Jesus, we're going through relish like it's the end of times right now. What is happening?
But you know what? Finally, the condiment game, they finally stepped it up. I have been turning my bottles upside down to get the last little bit out for the last 20 years. And finally, they started putting the lids on the bottom with the labels facing up so you can actually store them in your fridge, and that's the way they're meant to be stored.
Yeah.
Finally.
Except for one thing.
Mustard?
The moment you pull them out of the fridge and you put them on your table, and
Yeah.
the air inside the bottle warms up. And then as soon as you pull open that cap, it just goes.
That is true. That is true.
And again, you're like, what is this, relish?
We're back to the pickles. Pickles are ruining society.
Pickles!
Right? Fucking pickles. We got to get rid
Ruining
of these
everything.
pickles. I think COVID is making people like eat a lot of different things. I think
Yes.
because you're ordering from places you've never ordered.
That's true. I wasn't sure where you're going with that, but that's true. Like
I've tried more random food in the last 2 months.
because you get bored of ordering skip the dishes from the same place,
Right?
And you just I'm gonna try this random place.
Yeah.
And
It's
you
the only
realize
thing
you
to
only
do.
know like 6 recipes.
True. Yeah. That's
I haven't cooked in 12 years.
every night. It's like, do you want hamburger helper or chicken and noodles?
To me, it's like, so how do you want your chicken prepared now?
It's so true. Oh, I miss the all you can eat wing days. Like fuck. I just miss,
Miss wings,
pubs
man. I
being
miss
open.
wings a lot.
Yeah.
I miss having a beer in a pub. Just like
Yep.
the Manchester on Wednesdays. That was the night I'd go
Yeah.
go there, $5 honest loggers, and just I'd have my 4 for the night. I'd get some food. I'd do some trivia. I miss that. I miss that a lot.
Sounds great.
Kildare, same thing.
Yeah.
Fresh Guinness. And even when shit opens, it's still going to be weird, right? They're having the capacities and like it's just I don't know. It's not going to be the same for a while. It kind of sucks.
It's because I think it's smart, that they're doing it that way, and eventually we'll be fine. But it is going to be like, I think everyone was hoping for the big hurrah when we got back. You know what I mean? Like, all right, everybody, you can go now. And then it's like everyone's gonna have huge parties, and the pubs are gonna be full, and we're all we're gonna be hugging and drinking beer, and it's not gonna happen.
No. At least
No.
not this summer. I think next summer will be fine, but
I don't know. I think the way that is going to happen, we're just going to kind of phase back into reality. So where it's going to be cut capacities and things will be different than they were, and we'll just sort of build up slowly to the point where things are back to the way they used to be, or close to that. So we're never going to have that big COVID's over party.
That's going to be, that'll be a big thing for you though. Like when we get back to doing trivia live again, it's going to be half the amount of people that they can fit in there, and it's just going to be different, right?
That occurred to me as well, and I was like, I'm hoping that half capacity or not, like that the bars still decide to have me back right away. You know what I mean? That they're like, yeah, wait, trivia night's back, like for sure. Even though we're not going to get everybody to come out, like we still want to have some sort of trivia night, because it could take a while for them to say, well, I'm not really making any money. You know what I mean? And at half capacity or not, right? So I don't know. We'll see. We'll have to see what happens. But you're right. There's not going to be a huge, like the big hurrah will be next year when they like everything's back to normal and they're like, hey, let's have do you remember that crazy thing we did last year and it's finally over? I think there might be like a memorial thing that happens maybe a year later.
The anniversary of.
So
yeah.
With your bar trivia, like you've got some consistent teams that come out week after week. Are you finding like those people are sticking around with the digital content, or are you getting new consistent teams with the digital content?
Yeah.
Do you think
I
that
think
people
we're
are
getting
going to...
both? What happened is that a lot of the teams that, come out to the bars definitely were the first people to come on and play because they knew about it. They were already, so they were on the page or whatnot. I was able to let them know that this was happening. So I'm pretty sure there's no way 100% to know. There's a lot of people in the chat and stuff, but a lot of people don't create accounts. Like because you have to create a YouTube account. That's one thing that sucks. You have to create a YouTube account in order to be able to chat in the chat, which is not a big deal. If you have a Google account, it's easy to do. But people get freaked out because they say you have to create a YouTube channel. They call it a channel on YouTube, and so it's not. It's just the same as having an account. You just create that, and then you're allowed to chat. So I see a lot of the people in the chat. And once I figure out who their like what their handle is and who they are, because a lot of people will be like, "Well, I was there, remember?" And I was like, "I don't know. Are you? What's
lightsaber 64?"
Right. So it's so I do recognize some people, but a lot of people from out of town started joining as well. Some friends of mine from Ottawa, 'cause like I said, I came from there, so I still have friends out there, and they were like, "Oh, check it out," because they never were able to come and check it out in town. And then people told their friends and family and like their extended family, because they would form teams on Zoom and Messenger and stuff. So then they'd be like, "Oh yeah, we're playing with some family all the way in Nova Scotia today." Well, then those Nova Scotians told people, the way word of mouth works.
Yeah.
And it's spreading. I looked at the stats the other day, and apparently we have a lot of viewers in the States.
Really?
Yeah.
You know why though? So a couple of us went over to the States last summer, and we did some trivias over there, and they do it. It's very different. It's very slow. You get like a minute and a half each question. There's only like 5 questions in a round. It just seems it's very, very slowed down. It's very slowed down.
I find it very wedding DJ too.
It is.
Like it's very like they're spinning a song and they're trying to announce the song, and then they're like throwing a question in there. Like you're at a Grand Bend beach party or something. It's just,
oh wow,
not
too much.
Yeah.
No, it's not entertaining.
I try to keep that balance. I try to keep the balance of showmanship versus like it's a trivia game. So I had to learn to shut the hell up, is what it is. Like I used to talk a lot more, and I realized people aren't listening, man. They're in the process of thinking and writing down their answers. So unless it's really funny or really worth saying, don't say it. Just wait.
But I think that's where you excel, though. Like to find that balance between not saying anything and still talking. That's a fine line, I think.
It is. I mean, it took a while to figure out, but I think I'm getting there. That's for sure.
I don't know. I always thought the shows were awesome. Yeah. Especially the story. I'll never forget that story about the Rickroll where you had it set up in your buddy's car or whatever, and the volume was on like 300.
I love that story, man. Best Rickroll ever. This one goes out to Chris Cable if you're listening. This guy. You remember the story? So a buddy of mine was a student at the time, and he helped me out. We help each other out, right? We're a community. It's what we do. So I would drive into work. I worked at the time in Windsor. I would drive into work with my car, and I'd leave it parked all day, and then I'd grab my car and leave. So he was like, "Listen, I got running to do sometimes, groceries, stuff like that." And he was comfortable enough to say, "Can I borrow your car while you're at work, and I'll just park it back." And then boom. I was like, yeah, dude, like if I can help you out, that's the kind of stuff I like to, that's a great way to help a buddy out, right? And I was like, more people should do that. So I was like, yeah, sure. So he did that regularly, and usually he would do it on Wednesdays because he knew I had trivia. So he would use the car, then he'd park it closer to the pub for me, and then he'd meet me at the pub. He'd come and play, and then he'd go, oh, your car's parked over here. Whenever, go grab it, whatever. So I go grab my car and I'd go home. So we did this for a while. Well, one day we go and same deal, all that. I see him there. He, hey, what's up? Blah, blah, blah. And we talk. Okay, well, have a good night. I'm going to go home now. So I go and I walk over to my car and I get in my car and I put my stuff in my trunk. I get in and I put the key in the ignition and I start the car. And there was an old van and it had a tape deck, and the tape deck kicks on. And it kicks on to never gonna give you up. So basically, he went out. He found the tape in a pawn shop. He bought the tape, queued it up to the place, put it in the tape deck, and left it there for me to find.
That's the ultimate Rickroll. Oh my god,
Well, that's amazing.
it sucks
What a great Rickroll.
He should have
Just
filmed
me
it
for 5 minutes straight, laughing in my van though, like trying to leave, and just like laughing so hard. And then I'd text him and be like, "Why? You're an idiot." It was so good.
That's awesome. That's a lot of effort for a prank. Like
It is. At least like I'll give him this. He didn't like seek out the tape. He happened to be in a shop and he saw it.
Okay.
It would have been even crazier if he was like, "This is what I'm doing with my day."
I'm spending the day finding Rick Astley
On tape.
on
On audio cassette. Not even a CD or no. He found it on audio cassette.
How long ago was this? Like, what year was this?
5-6 years ago.
Wow.
At least.
And there's still
might be even
tapes?
more than that because this was more than that. This was like 8 years ago, 7 or 8 years ago.
Like, tapes, are they still a thing? Tapes aren't. They can't possibly.
I mean, no. I think in that retro sort of thing, like some people are doing that, like, some bands just for the novelty of it, to prevent piracy and stuff. They always have to put out like, oh, I put out the wax. Here's our vinyl record. Here's our, whatever. Some people, I've seen tapes, but I don't know. Like, how could you play them?
Well, one of our guests last time, they were talking about they met this artist who put a demo on a flash drive, but you could fold the flash drive into the cassette tape. So it looks like you're handing a cassette tape, but all the stuff is on a USB stick inside. So it's pretty cool, yeah. That
is neat.
I think that's a pretty good idea.
I've interacted with a few YouTubers. I've interacted with your show a few times. And, I mean, even though something about it when you feel like you're part of it, that just actually makes you feel good.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like the whole premise of our podcast.
Yeah.
Basically, right? We just try to like hang out with everybody who's listening, just drink and have a good time. So he's doing the same thing. It's just he's got video because he's much better looking. And that fucking beard, man. Holy shit.
Beard, eh?
That thing is epic. Look at that. It's majestic. You need a fan. Put a fan side stage for you. So during trivia, just like it's blowing.
It just flows.
Yeah. Oh my god! I'll sponsor the fan. I'll buy the fan for you.
Sponsor the fan.
The fan sponsored by Two Dudes and a Mic.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Yeah, the beard was so epic it became part of the new logo.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, that was a good logo.
Yeah, when did you change that?
Just recently. It's because I was. It's just kind of an update of the logo, but it was because I wanted to get shirts made, and we're talking. People want shirts. We want shirts. And shirts are expensive, by the way.
Yeah.
Shirts are really expensive to make.
I still have your old one. And actually, you know what? I was at the beer store the other day, and I saw a guy come in with Mack Flash Trivia shirt on.
Come on.
Yeah, the old one, like the 3D glasses. Yeah, he was wearing it.
I think there are a total of 30 of those, if I remember correctly. And we were trying to, the other day, we started a tally on who had one. So everyone started chiming in. This one, like everyone on my team pretty much, I think has one. Most of the writers, not because I gave it to them, because they won them at trivia, like in past trivias and stuff. So
I think I won.
My dad has
yours.
one. I have two. My wife has one. So like, yeah, it's fun. There's not like I can pretty much pinpoint everyone who's got one, but there's a few people who won them. And like, I don't know them personally, you know what I mean? So I could one day see someone with a shirt and be like, oh, I recognize you, but
I don't remember how I got your shirt. I think I won it. Was it the Back to the Future day at Villains? Is that when I won it?
You probably won for best costume. Well, you won for best costume that day. That sounds about when I had that batch of shirts. So that makes sense that you won it there.
Yeah.
That's how we met.
Yeah, exactly. And then that day, I'm like, yeah, here, take my number. And you started typing it in. It came in as Mike Marty.
Mike Marty, because I didn't want to ask you your last name. I was like, Mike Marty.
Is that a weird? That's not a weird custom, is it? Like, what's the statute? If you meet somebody and you know their first name, and then you see them like a year later, is it not customary to be like, hey, what's your last name? Is it awkward? Socially awkward? When did I have you do the Brooklyn Nine-Nine trivia? Was that after the number?
Yeah, it was years later.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because then when I gave you the number and you're like, yeah, I started typing it in, it just came in as Mike Marty with no last name. And I think I said, oh, here, put it in. But I don't remember.
I think it still says in my phone, if I look it up, I think it still says Mike Marty Tedesco.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's what I want to be known as.
Yeah.
Mike Marty. Is it?
Mike. It says right there. Mike Marty Tedesco.
That's
you can't see it, but right there at the top.
That's awesome. That's what I want to be known as. It was good. That was a good day. It was a fun day.
Like, my interaction with you over the years has been very like background and coincidental, and like, so for years for years you were trying to get me to go to trivia to play with you guys, which was
we had a big team there.
Yeah. And I would always be like, I'm too busy, I can't go. And throughout it was many years. You played for how many years?
Long time. Yeah, a long time.
And then I started dating my wife, and my wife was like, the rest of my team can't go. Let's go to
hey, you should go to trivia.
Yeah, so I go with her, and I find out that Laura has been playing trivia with your previous team for like the entire time you've been trying to get me to go there.
Yeah.
And just coincidentally.
Yeah, but you're like, weird. Oh yeah. Oh no. We know you just as hosting the trivia, but the guy emceed your fucking wedding.
That's true. You did.
Yeah, let's not forget that little detail.
Right.
That did happen.
Yeah, I mean, we barely know each other, except that you hosted my entire wedding.
I'm just saying, like, the build up, like the interaction that I had with Francois for the many years previous.
Yeah.
Was like we were there but not there. Like, I knew him but never actually interacted with him at the same time.
Which is when you talk about like the whole social awkward, like with asking someone's name, how that can be awkward, especially if it's been a long time or whatnot. Like, I live that constantly. Because, like you said, I see people all the time, background, week to week, like, hey, what's up? Oh, hey. Or, you hand in your sheet, hey, what's going on, man? And then this like rapport builds up, and it's like, yeah, man, I really like your show. Thanks, man, it's so great. And then it's like, oh, I'll see you next week. Hey, I have this funny story. And then gradually your conversations get more, and then you realize, I don't know his name. And it's too late to ask. I don't want to ask him now. This is really awkward.
See, that's what I'm saying. It's socially awkward. There's a time limit that you're allowed to ask for their name. And if they're coming up to you on stage, you're like, hey, Francois, what's going on? You're like, hey, man.
I think that's different with a lot of people, though. Like, I think some people understand. Like, they get it. But then there's other people that are like, everybody should know my name. Right? I've talked to that person one time. I've
handed you my sheet 7 times. You should know me.
You should know where I live and who my mother's name is.
Remember that Matthew McConaughey quote from Days of Confused? Like, the thing about trivia nights is that I get older and they stay the same age.
It's true. It's so true.
Well, it's true.
You got to do Bull and Barrel Wednesdays.
Go to trivia are between this age and that age, and eventually, these people fall off and they stop coming, but then new people turn this age and start joining. So
and they just keep coming.
Literally, in the last 10 years that I've been doing trivia, my crowd, I had to realize, like, my crowd got younger, but they didn't. They stayed the same age. I got older. I have to adapt.
I would say, though, like, that's one thing I noticed with your trivia, though. I mean, there's definitely the bulk of the people, the majority of the people that change out frequently, but there's like a huge diversity of age and people that go there. Like, it's very varied. Like, you'll see people who are in their 70s that are playing. There's people in their 50s and in their 40s, and there's university students and high school students, and it's pretty varied.
There's a core group that keeps going all the time.
Yeah,
they'll go forever.
Yeah. The according to the analytics, if you will, mostly from what I found from people who follows us on Instagram, who reacts to our posts, who watches us on YouTube, 25 to 55 is like the serious demographic. But then, like you said, there's always spillover on either side, mostly on the older side, where, we still have people with 60, 65, which is not that old. And maybe I'm saying that because I'm getting up in age. I'm like, 65, not that old.
65. Yeah, that's the new 20. Well,
And
because
the
you
cool
always
thing
want
is
to
that-
compete.
Yeah.
Most people do.
Yeah.
And that's what I was getting as like people just like the idea of the competition, of the game, of being part of the game. And the proof of that is again, people will have terrible scores and they lose every week. Every week they show up, every week they do poorly, every week they lose, and every week they show up again.
Because that
Right?
1 week when they place third and they get
Yeah.
announced, oh my God. I know like 3 out of every 10. I'm like, I know this. That's why we never did well.
The team I play with is generally exponentially smarter than I am. So I just sit back and I wait for that one random question where I can, like, I have to wait for them to not know, because if they know, they're going to answer way faster than I can even compute the question.
We're pretty good at music round, though.
Yeah, music
Rounds are pretty good.
Yeah.
It's the other stuff.
Sort
you
of.
know.
Until you get some of that obscure
Nobody
music that you throw out there sometimes.
Like,
Gotta keep it interesting.
like here's a fiddle cover of 10 songs or whatever. Listen to these 15 songs and tell me what they are. You're just like, what the fuck?
What
I have no
were you
idea.
thinking? Yeah. My favorite right now is because of copyright, the YouTube shows have changed, right? So I can't do my music round the way I used to, where I play, clips of songs, because YouTube picks it up, flags it, and then that's it, like copyright claims and whatnot. I can't do it. So I had to adapt, and I was like, I still want to have music clips, so what are we going to do? So there's some stuff that works out, like 8-bit covers, like that sound like Super Nintendo music. Of popular songs and piano covers. My favorite one that I found recently, I don't know how I thought of this. I was like sitting in my office trying to think, like, what could I do that would be really funny and but still work as a game? So I started looking for crappy recorder covers of songs.
I saw one of your shows and it had that
Those
in
are
it.
hilarious, yeah.
It is so good because
They're
it's
so
like, first
bad.
of all, it's terrible. It's really unpleasant to listen to. and then, but it's still like recognizable. You have to listen because you want to get the point, right? They want to get the point. So they're like, oh, so you're forcing yourself to listen. And like the people's reaction to it is just so great. So like, it's hard not to do that every week.
If people want to reach you on socials, where do they go?
Facebook, you would check out MacFlash Entertainment. And on Instagram, it's at MacFlash. And I think that's it. And then youtube.com/MacFlash. That's how you'd find it there.
And when are you running your shows? You're doing live shows on
Mondays, Wednesdays at 7. That's MacFlash Trivia. That's the 3-round like we do at the pub with the 3 rounds of trivia and whatnot. It's about an hour and a half. That's Mondays and Wednesdays at 7. And then Fridays at 8, it's Seriously Trivia, which I normally do over at the Walkerville Brewery and at the Beacon Ale House here in Amherstburg. That one is more sort of puzzles and games. It's kind of more of a game show, but it's still a play along sort of trivia show.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, and we started our new one on Friday, which is like a brand new show that we're doing live after Seriously Trivia. It's almost like Trivia After Dark. It's
the red light trivia.
Yeah, that's right. It's actually it's called the Games Lounge, where we basically me and the team, because I have a writing team behind me that writes all of the quickies and stuff, and they help me out a lot. So we were trying to come up with a game where we played trivia together, but we didn't want to write. Like everyone's just tired of writing trivia and organizing trivia, and so we're like, how can we do it? So I had this idea where I was like, what if we just used existing games out there that have cards with questions and answers, and everyone just brings a deck, and then we just play those. Everyone plays one card out of their deck, right? And you take turns hosting. So in this setup, Mike, you would pull a card, and then we would play, and then after then I would do it, and then it would go on and on and on like that. So we started that on Friday, and it turned out really great because we have people watch and play along as well, because you can it is a quiz game, and so it's like playing 5 board games at once, which is kind of cool.
That's cool. We'll have to check that out.
That's pretty sweet. All right, dude. We appreciate you taking the time out and doing this podcast with us, especially during all this. We know you got a busy day.
Me on here. It's great.
Nothing like day drinking. So now you're going to be drunk for the rest of the day like us. So it's going to be a good time. So everybody listen, here we go. Everybody grab your drink. I've got this Moosehead Radler here. Gus, I don't know what you got. The Czech style?
The Czech style, Kingsville.
These guys, I can't even read it. You're so white out. Cowbell.
Cowbell, yeah.
All right, everybody. Male, female, here we go. Everybody listen. Cheers, guys. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers.